Okay. See, when we want to apply a transformation, there are three things we want to keep in mind. One is safety. Okay. Is it, when I apply the transformation, under what conditions is it safe? Safe as in the new code will be semantically equivalent to the original code. Is it profitable? Will it be faster if speed is my target? Opportunity. See, to apply the optimization, I need to find out where I can apply the optimization. So finding the opportunity, I should be able to do it fast, or I shouldn't have to kind of, if I have to spend 2 days to find out an excellent opportunity, I may not have so much time. Okay. In general, whenever you come up with a new optimization, these three things should be clearly visible. Okay. So safety. Does the transformation change the results of the executing code? If yes, don't do it. If no, it is safe. Okay. Many times doing simple compile time analysis, I can find out, yes, it is safe to apply. Sometimes the analysis, sometimes it's always safe. For example, loop unrolling is always safe. Sometimes it's simple to analyze. Sometimes it may require complex reasoning. But it is important to know whether the optimization is safe or not before we apply. Second is profitable. Is there a reasonable expectation? We are not saying always. We are saying reasonable expectation that the transformation will be an improvement. If yes, do it, else don't do it. Compile time, we say, is it always profitable? Or we can kind of compute the benefits and say, hey, under these conditions, we can do this optimization. Okay, so all these are possible. Third thing is, can we efficiently locate sites where we can apply the transformation or the optimization? Why is this important? Because if it takes a lot of time to apply the transformation, or rather find the location where we can apply the transformation, then the compilation time will go for a toss. Okay. And we would ideally like to find all the sites where we can apply this transformation in a systematic manner. And see, once I applied a transformation, what happens to the other sites? Where, I mean, so now I have to modify the transformation, modify the safety information, and so that the future applications of this optimization can proceed. Okay, so all these three things, safety, profitability, and opportunity, are important. We will take a couple of examples to understand this. Okay. So for any optimization, we want to test for safety. We want to see that the profit is there. How do we compute the profit? Look at this way, right? If because of my optimization in that particular piece of code, I get some X improvement, and that code is executed some N number of times, then my profit is N times X. Okay. We will look at three examples in detail: loop unrolling, loop invariant code motion, and strength reduction. And we will see how these optimizations can really change what we have in our hand in terms of the code. Okay. Okay. The first thing we will look at is loop unrolling. What is loop unrolling? If I have a loop, I want to replace it with, for some header, with some copies of S. Not one copy, no, not just 2 copies, could be 3, could be 4, depends. Okay. So the idea is, when I have this loop, I have some loop related overheads. What are the loop related overheads? We have already seen this. We will now look at it slightly. We'll go over once more. Let us say I have a loop like this for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Yes. So if you translate, right, the code looks like this. I equal to 0. If I less than n, go to L, some L, we'll see that. Then S. Okay, then I plus plus. Then go to L0, where L0 is this if condition. And my L is here. So now if you look at it, I'm incrementing I, and after every statement S, I'm incrementing I, I'm jumping and checking. Then there is one more conditional jump. This is what is the loop overhead. When you have a loop, you have a jump, you have an increment, you have a comparison. On the other hand, if I unroll the loop, some of these checks reduce. Okay? So what am I doing? I am reducing the loop overhead by creating multiple successive copies of the loop body. So if I want to unroll, the unrolled code will look like this. I equal to 0. If I less than n, go to L, S, I plus plus. Then again, S. If S doesn't use, and again I plus plus. Like in our previous example, if S was not using I at all, I can do I equal to I plus n, I plus 2 outside. Okay. And then go to L0. So here, if you look at it, the number of jumps have come down. Number of comparisons have come down. This will work. We will go into details on this thing slightly later. I'll give a more formal definition. But as you can see, this is safe. It reduces overheads. However, the instruction cache size may increase. And how to find opportunities? It is trivial. Every loop, I can look at it and try to undo. Okay? Let's look at an example code. Here is a code that you might have seen many times. It's a matrix multiplication. The loop is written in a Fortran style, this thing. It says I'm starting from I equal to 1 up to n, I equal to 1 to n, where I increase I by 1. J goes from 1 to n, increase by 1. So what am I doing? I am doing C equal to A times B, where A and B are square matrices of size n, and C is another square matrix. And K equal to 1 K up to n, Cij equal to Cij plus Aik times Bkj. Okay? Any questions with the code? No? Okay. Can someone tell me how many multiplications am I doing in this loop nest? How many? Sorry?
N cube.
N cube multiplications. Okay. How many additions am I doing?
I think N cube also.
All right. Yes and no. There are N cube floating point additions if A and B are all floating point distincts. N cube floating point multiplications, but I have other additions. Can you see what are those?
Loop increments.
Absolutely. There are loop increments here, here, and here. So I have n cube floating point additions, n cube floating point multiplications, which in turn total gives me 2n cube flops. Okay. There are n cube loop increments and n cube branches. Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now can we optimize this code? How many memory operations do I have? Can someone tell? Anyone?
4n cube plus n squared.
I need a memory this thing to get b sub k, then b sub j, a sub I, a sub k. Okay. And similarly, I'm writing to Cij, right? So in each iteration, I'm doing two loads. I'm loading this element and this element. The Cij, maybe I'm not loading in every iteration because it's likely to be in a register. Okay. So the Cij, whatever I'm starting here, I'm using the same thing. So it's likely to be in register. So even then, even if I skip that, I have two loads here. And I'm writing back to Cij. So at least one store I have. Okay. So are you guys fine so far with these operations? Anyone having questions on why not less or why not more?
Why it is two flops?
This is fine.
Yes, Sudhakar, you are saying.
Why it is two flops, sir? Two node I can understand.
There is one floating point multiplication, one floating point
Okay, sir.
per iteration. Yeah?
Fine, sir. Fine.
Okay. How about Hanisha? Any questions? Aman Arora?
No question, sir.
Okay. Shravanti Reddy? Any questions, Shravanti? Okay, good. Let's continue then. See, we have this matrix multiply, which is an OMQ algorithm, simple matrix multiply. We will now try to see how we can speed it up. Okay. The first thing I'm doing, I'm just unrolling this loop. What did I do? K equal to 1, K less than n, K increases by 4. And I have repeated the body. And now you see, instead of aik, here I have aik plus 1, k plus 2, k plus 3. bk plus 1, k plus 2, k plus 3. Okay? Now, so let's first make sure that we agree that this code is semantically equivalent to the previous code. Maybe I should just show the previous code as well if possible. Okay? Yeah, can you see both the codes and convince yourself that's the same code? Semantically equivalent. Any questions?
Only if the matrix order is at least 4, I guess.
Perfect. Thank you, Anupam. So we are assuming that n is a multiple of 4 for the time. Okay? Very good. Very good. Where are you from, Anupam?
Jaipur.
Which college?
SKIT.
All right, good. Any other question? You are all fine so far? Okay. Then I'll come back to my single page display. Okay. So what did I do? I unrolled. Has anything changed? In terms of semantics, it hasn't. How about the number of flops? Has the number of flops changed? No, right? The floating point operations, I'm still doing the same number of multiplications and additions. How about number of jumps? Has that changed? Anyone?
Reduced by 4x.
Samir, your voice is too low.
Reduced by 4 times because
it's reduced by 4 times, not reduced. Like he's saying, it's not reduced by 4 times. That's what he's saying. Which is used, right? I mean, see, the loop increments and branches have come down to n cube by 4 from n cube. Correct? If n was 100, it has come down from.
I have one question.
Yeah.
In core statement, always you are writing Cij. I think it should be changed.
Oh yeah. You are right. Which one? Which one you want to change?
Like second, third, and fourth line, you need to write I plus 1, j plus 1, I plus 2, j plus 2, and I plus 3 and j plus 3. Otherwise, it is updating this one location. It's I and j is connected.
Okay. So your question is, why did we unroll this way? What was the original loop, if you remember?
Yeah, we have Cij equals to Cij plus Cij and multiplied by Cij.
My original code was like this, right? For k equal to 1 up to n, Cij, I'm writing C style. That's, I guess, let me help you see. Or maybe not, but I just keep it the same. Cij something. When I unroll, is this ij changing? No, I'm only changing the value. This loop is not changing. Only k equal to 1 is changing. K equal to 1, this loop body is changing, right? So it's as if I have added this plus, I wish I had more space. My whiteboard is not. See, one thing I could have done is, see, when I repeat, initially I was doing it for k equal to 1, k equal to 2, k equal to 3, k equal to 4. Instead, now what I'm doing, I'm repeating it 4 times. And then in my this loop, initially my value of k is 1, next it will be 5. So in k equal to 1, I should do multiply with ai1, b1j, ai2, b2j, ai3, b3j, ai4, b4j. That's what is this word. Does it make sense? So
is there any change in Cij?
No, right? See, what I'm writing is the following: Cij equal to Cij plus ai k plus 1 times b k plus 1 sub j. I'm skipping that one. See, look at this, right? When k equal to 1, I'll execute this. When k equal to 2, what will I do? I'll do k plus 1. I'll execute this. Is Cij changing for different values of k? Is Cij changing for different values of k?
there should be variation because you are doing for
Your voice is pretty low, Nitesh.
my voice is now clear.
Better, go ahead.
My question is that you are doing 4 work at a time, you know that, and skipping loop 4 times jump,
Yeah.
fine. So my question is that always you are updating Cij in 4 statements, fine. Should be, I think Cij should not be in 4 statements. There should be some other indexing.
You are saying I could as well do it as I can kind of write to a temporary and then store it in CIJ, right? Yeah. Sure. Oh, okay, I misunderstood you. What Nitesh is saying is, look, why should I do Cij so many times? I'm dereferencing an array. I could do t equal to, I could start with t equal to t plus this, t equal to t plus this, t equal to t plus this, and finally Cij equal to t plus this. Right? So that way I write only once. That's your point, right? Nitesh?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, sure. Such an optimization is definitely possible. We will see that too. We will see such an optimization. See, when we do optimizations, right, we keep focus on one thing at a time. So when I'm doing loop unrolling, I do only loop unrolling. So what you are saying is basically, we will cover it in, this is you're reducing the memory accesses, right? So we will come to strength reduction, we will come to these things later, okay? Fine. So, but we see that there are the number of loop increment and branches have come down. Yes or no? But I'm still doing, so each iteration after the unrolling by 4 is still doing 8 loads and 8 flops. So this hasn't changed, correct? But you can see one thing. This Cij can be reused. I'll put it in a register, and I won't even have a local variable. I will have a register. So that's kind of better for my traffic. What about this? Look at this. If I have a forward cache line, whenever I read AIK, the k plus 1, k plus 2, k plus 3 are already in my cache, isn't it? As a result, the memory traffic becomes much better. Even though I'm still doing 8 loads, of these 8 loads, this load will go to memory and fetch. These 3 are from cache, so much faster. And all Cij are in registers. Okay? What about these 4? Are they coming? If I bring this, are these coming from cache? Guys?
No.
Why not?
Usually arrays are like matrices are stored in row major order, right? So like
very good. So we are assuming that the matrices are stored in row major order. If the matrix was stored in column major order, then it would have been B's traffic is better than A. Okay? Very good. Let's do one more thing. Let's go a bit more to improve the traffic on B. I did a few things, okay? I interchanged the I and J loop. I interchanged the I and J loop. Then there is something missing here. And I plus 3, Ci plus 3. Okay. So what did I do? I interchanged these two loops, the outer this do while loops. I unrolled the I loop by a 4, and then you can see something interesting happening here. Once I unroll, the code looks like this. This is the loop for Cij, this is the loop for Ci plus 1j, Ci plus 2j, Ci plus 3j. Okay. Now look at what's happening. My Cij was never a problem, so I will not focus on that. My Aik plus 1, Aik plus 2, and Aik plus 3 are read from the same and from one memory access. Similarly, this guy brings in 1, 2, 3 into cache. This guy brings this into cache. This guy brings this into cache. What about B? When I read BKJ, pay attention. Is anyone coming to my cache? Not quite, but I'm reusing BKJ here. I'm reusing BKJ. Similarly, I read BK plus 1j and I reuse it here, here, and here. I read BK plus 3, I reuse it here. Okay? What's the moral of the story? If I summarize, how many increments do I have, by the way? Loop increments and jumps. N cube by 16. That has come down significantly. Okay. The number of flops hasn't changed. The flops still remain 2 n cube. N cube loop increments in n cube branches. So, if you look at this particular code, my memory traffic is significantly better. Because this load, I load Aik once, and this k plus 1, k plus 2, k plus 3 for Ai, I am getting for free. So I have 4 loads from memory, 4 loads from memory for Ai, for the array A. How many loads for B do I have? 4 loads for B. So it's effectively 8 loads. Okay, it's effectively 8 loads. Isn't that cool? I have 4 loads for A. Do you see why there is 4 loads here? There is load here, Aik. For the first iteration, how many loads will we do? Anyone? I will load Aik, then B Kj, K plus 1j, K plus 2j, K plus 3j. So that is 1 load plus 1 load for A, 1 load for A, and 4 loads for B array. And here in the second statement, how many loads will I do? Anyone from memory?
Only 1 load.
Sorry?
Only 1 load for A.
1 load for A. What about B? Nothing. They're all from cache.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes my life kind of a lot more easy. Okay. So this is 4 loads. 4 loads in okay. So even though it looks like I have actually 8 loads here, right? If you look at it, there are 8 loads here, but they are all from cache, which is kind of super cool. So I'm reusing Cij, I'm reusing Bkj, and AIK references are from cache. Can someone tell if the complexity has changed here? Has the code complexity changed?
Yeah, I mean, we are unable to answer your question that's easily, so it has changed, right?
No, Samir, I cannot hear you. Can you be louder?
Yeah, I mean, it has changed significantly, right? I mean, we are taking time to analyze the code. So when you look at it, it has changed significantly.
The code has changed. Has the complexity in terms of the CS computational complexity?
Computation complexity hasn't changed. But
Exactly. The code has become more complex in an English sense, but the computational complexity has not changed.
Yeah.
The code looks very different, and the compiler can do all this. And you will see that this code will run much faster compared to the original code. Okay.